Chevy Silverado just got a major update, and that big thing behind me was part of the makeover. Can you see what it is? All right, Danger, show them.
The ZR2 is familiar because we all know about the Colorado ZR2, one of my favorite versions of the midsize Chevy offering. It's the off-road specific trim, and the ZR2 version of the Silverado is hoping to carry over some of that capability to the full-size guy. Under the hood of the Silverado ZR2 churns a 6.2-liter V8 that's mated to a 10-speed automatic. It makes 420 horsepower and 460 pound-feet of torque.
Whoa, okay, that is a V8, but for comparison, the Ford Raptor gets a turbocharged V6 that actually makes more power than this.
I'm not complaining about the powertrain. It feels like more than enough to get the Silverado going, and I definitely appreciate how torquey it is in the low part of the range. It pulls well and gets me where I want to go. It also sounds pretty darn good with the optional Borla catback exhaust. I'd say the Toyota Tundra TRD Pro is an equal adversary for the Silverado ZR2. Well, that can come with a hybrid variant that makes 437 horsepower and over 100 more pound-feet of torque. The Silverado might not be the most powerful, but it's got something that makes it pretty great when you wander off the pavement, and that's 40mm Multimatic shocks. Multimatic shocks get small variable rate spring valves inside them so they can be fine-tuned. But when they get on dirt, they soften up and make what could be a pretty bumpy ride very comfortable.
These shocks make so many decisions so quickly that it's basically like having electronically adaptive dampers. Only you do not need to pick which mode you're going to be in. They do it all for you. Now, that is great when it comes to really focusing on what you're doing when driving off-road. And let me tell you, when you're talking and driving off-road, it's even better.
The ZR2 does have a few driving modes, including off-road for more of a Baja-style driving, and terrain mode, which is great for rock crawling if you're into that. But they do not adjust the shock tuning because Multimatic shocks. Those modes do modify throttle mapping, transmission tuning, and traction control only. That terrain mode when you're in four-wheel drive allows for one-pedal driving, so you don't have to brake when you're rock crawling. Another thing you don't have to think about. Guys, these trucks are making it so easy to be an off-roader.
The Silverado ZR2's off-road geometry is actually pretty good for a truck this size. Up front, you're looking at 31.8 degree approach angle. Departure and breakover angles, probably about 23 degrees or close to. You're also going to get 11.2 inches of ground clearance. Again, for a truck this size, all of that is pretty good.
Add to those numbers the 33-inch mud tires and front and rear electronic locking differentials, and you've got yourself a very capable full-size truck. The one number that doesn't even get close to, say, Ford Raptor territory is the front and rear travel. You only get 9 inches up front and 10 inches in the rear. That's increased over the best Silverado in previous generations, but the Raptor gets up to 14 inches up front and 15 in the rear.
So if you're looking to really bomb over washboard or really whoopy terrain, then that might be a better one to look at. But if, like most other people, you're interested in a good, solid off-road truck that has well-rounded capability, then the Silverado ZR2 is definitely one to look at.
It can also tow, though there are other trims in the Silverado lineup that do heavier lifting.
The Silverado ZR2 gets a 1,400-pound payload. You also get a lot of tie downs down here. I mean, there are sort of 6 immediately right here for all your stuff. This tonneau cover is not standard, but a great option if you want to keep things clean back here. You also get a 110-volt outlet, just in case you want to run some equipment. The multi-flex tailgate, that's this right here, also optional. 500 bucks it's gonna cost you, but it does so many things. To me, this is the best in the business. Pony up the money.
When it comes to other upgrades in this Silverado iteration, you're looking at a 13.4-inch touchscreen with CarPlay and Android Auto standard. Chevy upgrades their interface here as well, which is always nice. You get a 12.3-inch gauge cluster that you can configure, as well as an available head-up display that's easy to see and configure too.
In lower trim levels, you're gonna get more trucky plastic, but in the ZR2, you get a lot of nice, really upscale features. So there's some nice soft touch points here for your elbows. Great contrast stitching here that I think looks super upscale. Overall, that's how I would describe the cockpit now. They use a lot of great textures and patterns to kind of make things look a little bit more luxurious. And honestly, that's the way that trucks have been going these days, and we like it.
When it comes to the exterior, the Silverado ZR2 gets some tricks that should help you off-road as well, including removable end caps on the bumpers, and the dual exhaust has been placed so that you can avoid potential damage. You get extra skid plates for additional protection, wheel flares to protect your body from pinstriping, and front tow hooks.
I also think this bow tie badging that you can stick your hand into is pretty cool, both literally and figuratively. So literally because it has nice cooling function, but figuratively because I think it looks great.
Staying safe in trucks gets easier and easier as more driver tech gets added, and the Silverado ZR2 is no exception. Chevrolet's Safety Assist Suite comes standard, complete with forward collision warning, lane keeping assist with lane departure warning, automatic emergency braking, and automatic high beam headlights. Blind spot monitoring is standard on the ZR2, but you'll have to pony up some extra cash if you want adaptive cruise control. Chevy's hands-free Super Cruise driver assistance system is not available on the ZR2. Pricing on the Silverado starts at $34,600, not including a destination charge around $1,700. The ZR2 starts a lot higher than that, around $70,200. You could configure an off-road capable Silverado without going the way of the ZR2 land for less. So if you're more on a budget, head to the Chevy website and see what they offer.
There's a lot to love about the Silverado ZR2. It's got great off-road shops, the interior is upgraded and so much better, and those shocks. If you're looking for an all-around full-size truck that does a lot of things really well, check out the Chevy.